Hi guys, Romeo Hertz here today with another chapter of One Piece. One Piece 717 or 717 review called Dressrosa's Forgotten. I'm not sure if that's really correct. I think it should be. Oh well, yeah, I guess now that I think about it, when you think of the toys. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to have problems with this chapter. I at first was kind of annoyed, but I can ultimately I'm not sure if forgive it is the correct word, but I can understand the reasoning why. This is going to be a long chapter review because a lot happens, typical of a One Piece chapter. But basically, we start off in the Kurita Coliseum with Luffy talking to Don Chinchou, and they're talking about the steps required to become a pirate king, um, the path to be a pirate king, and the challenges he will face, and that there's other people with the king's will, the pirate king's will, and his way, and he's going to have to butt heads with them. And I'd just like to remark, Don Chinchou's head, if you remember, is said to crush an entire ice continent in half, and he's already starting to wreck the Colosseum. So I think, we know what's going on. I think if you saw the end of this chapter, if you're watching this review, you should have seen the end of this chapter. But I think you know and good foreshadowing by Odachi, what's going to happen. But basically, he's talking about who trained Luffy to become the level he became. Rayleigh. Don Chinchou uses his 8 impacts technique. This seems to hurt Luffy, but how much so, I'm not sure. We don't really know how this would work against her, but I'm not sure if he used Haki. I don't know. But basically, Don Chinchou is very upset about something. About some treasure taken away from him. But I don't know. It's rather confusing. It seems like Garp took something from him, a treasure, but even he doesn't seem to know what it is. It's rather confusing. So the two are ready to fight, and in fact, the more I think about it, the more I understand now, and I, in fact, can forgive why this isn't focused on Luffy and Don Chinchou, and probably will be next chapter. Maybe not next chapter, but we'll get there in probably 2 or 3 chapters. But I understand now. He kind of had to do this, or it might have seen maybe a bit of an ass pull, maybe a bit. But basically, Sanji and man, it's been a long time. Kinemon are trying to get into the Kurita Coliseum, but there's so many Marines. There's a vice admiral, Shark Slayer Bastille, also waiting there, and they're waiting for the pirates to come out, because there should have been hundreds who have lost, but none have come out. I suspect that they might be going to a toy factory. I don't know, maybe. You don't know what's going on. Or more than likely there's a secret way in and out. That would make more sense. But they can't get in. Bastille, I think this is a typo from Manga Stream. I think Bastille's talking about Maynard, not another Bastille, who went in to investigate the contestants, the other pirate contestants participating in the fight. But then we move on to the soldier, and we get a bit of the past of Dressrosa. Basically, Don Flamingo came in like 10 years ago. and he enforces two laws. One, you can't go out at midnight. You can't go out at all. No one can go out. Toys can't go out. Humans can't go out. No one. Don't know what that's about, but you can't. No exceptions whatsoever. No shops are open. Nothing's functional. Everything's shut down. The second rule is a toy can't enter a human's house, and a human can't enter a toy's house. But basically, this might be to stress the difference from the manufactured and the non-manufactured. So the difference between a toy and a human, even though they're chummy, they're best friends, there should be a line. So this is probably a moral, kind of ethical ruling within Dressrosa itself, established by Don Quixote, though I think it has a deeper meaning than that. But it's obvious that Frankie doesn't understand how these toys even come to being, because they have free wills, they have opinions, they have emotions, and basically they actually see this toy trying to talk to a woman called Esper, and it seems this toy is Esper, or was Esper's boyfriend, but she's saying that he's malfunctioning, and that he says, I'm a human, I'm not a toy, I am a human. And he gets taken to this kind of small kind of building with the scrap sign, and it's got the Don Quixote Jolly Roger, or Jolly Roger, no, the Don Quixote symbol, which is a smiley face with a line going through it. And basically the soldier sees another toy, a toy dog called One Poco, and there's this boy and this woman playing with him, and One Poco comes over when the soldier calls to him, and basically for some odd reason One Poco pretty much says straight out that I'm the boy's father and I'm her husband, and his real name is Mila, or Mila. And the soldier asks him, "Hey, where's your father? Where's your husband?" And basically he says, "I don't have a father." And the girl says, I've never been married," which is really, really strange, because he just said, I do have a father. They're my children. The kid doesn't even seem like his mother needs a man to have him. Basically, and basically what happens is when a person becomes a toy, they're forgotten, or there are many who have forgotten that all the toys here were once human. Which I don't understand how they can be forgetting. Is there... Oh, hang on. Maybe it's an ability of Violet. Maybe that Violet... I'm not sure. It's difficult how they can forget. I assume it's got something to do with Violet, because Violet has the ability to look into your mind, so maybe she has the ability to take things out of it. But he says forgetting, not taken. But he does mention the devil fruit user, I forgot her name, who turns people into toys. But basically he says, I'll explain everything at Flower Hill. And we jump back over to Greenbit, which is, shit is getting rocked over there. And Fujitora and Don Flamingo, Don Quixote, they're going at it. I think they're kind of teaming up against Law, he's in the midst of things. He's trying to contact Nami, and she's not picking up. And obviously, because once the ship's been turned into art, and they're not on the ship anymore. But maybe because they're using... No, maybe something's happened to the baby Denden Mushi, I'm not sure. But then we go back into the Tonta Kingdom, and Leo is talking about how you know, the place is quaking. So he's saying this is, you know, Usoland's haki, his ability, shaking the world, their world, and he's just, you know, really pumped up at how strong Usopp is. And Usopp asks why are they going against Don Quixote, and basically Leo says that they've got, I think it's 500 of their friends being forced to work as kind of like slaves in this factory. And Usopp asks if this is where they produce smile, and Leo doesn't know what they produce there. They're just being forced to work there, and basically they've got this kind of princess who's bitter, selfish, and cruel, spoiled, ill-tempered, called Ma Chérie. She's French, obviously. My darling, whatever the hell. And basically they're saying, you know, she's a bitch, but she's one of our friends, so we have to get her back, which I can respect. I think Luffy would be able to respect that as well. And basically they pretty much says, you know, they're already now, the Don Quixote family are heading towards the Corrida Coliseum, and in the basement of the Colosseum is where the Dark Factory is. And like I said at the very start, Don Chinchao's headbutt, remember, can crack an ice continent. I suspect that sometime during this fight, he's going to crack the very floor of the Colosseum, and they're going to fall down into the Dark Factory. I think that's what Oda is planning to do. But then what happens to the other fights? They probably won't happen. We did suspect that it wouldn't go the way a usual tournament would go, because this is One Piece. Shit always gets crazy and different, and that's what I like about it. What did I think about this chapter? I don't know, you know. I enjoyed it, but I don't know. I think all of this was necessary. I will not say it's not necessary. All of it was necessary for what I think Oda's plan is. He needs to foreshadow it. He can't just pull it out. Oda really likes to plan his stuff, and we all benefit from it. But I was really ready for... at the very least, I wish I could have saw more action between Don Chinchao and Luffy. I don't know, Luffy pulling out a gear move or something, you know what I mean? So it's just going to be delayed. Or perhaps more from the fight between Fujitora, Don Quixote and Law. Right now it seems like the Straw Hats are in a very bad way. They're in a very... their plan's not going quite as well as everyone thought it would. Which is expected. They're going against the Warlord. Don Quixote, out of all the Warlords, seems to be the most proficient in his trickery as a pirate. He seems to be the most pirate-like out of all the pirates I've seen so far. And he is a Shibukai. There's a reason why he's needed. Yeah, it was a good chapter, but considering how much was built up, I really wanted a bit more payoff. I mean, we'll just have to wait, but still, I wanted a bit of a payoff, some more action. With the Fujitora Don Quixote thing, we at least got a comet come out of the sky. You know what I mean? You know, some pretty epic shit. But But Oda always delivers. I have faith. Oda's proven to me that he's proven to me that he over the time that he will always deliver. I'm expecting some crazy shit. I don't know what's going to go down, but I look forward to it. It's just I wish there was more, definitely more, considering how he had built this up. I didn't think it was going to conclude in one chapter, to be honest, but again, I understand what he's trying to plan, what he's trying to do. I understand the necessities of it, and I understand that kind of this was the best time to do it before they really got serious. So yeah, no jump next week, so whatever. We're gonna have to wait. I don't really expect any action to be happening next week. I think we're just gonna, well, we may jump to Nami and the rest. I think that's where he might go. Yeah, so until 2 weeks, guys. This is Romeo Hurts. It was an okay chapter of One Piece. I did expect more, but I understand why he did what he did. So until One Piece chapter 718, I'll catch you guys later.